Hey, I'm September Smith, and this is the She's All That podcast, Season 2. As always, conversations with women doing awesome shit is the foundation of my podcast. And in this transition season to a post-pandemic world, my guests are business owners combining their agile business chops, their expertise, and their insight to offer their clients innovative solutions for the post-pandemic business reality. Each and every one brings a fresh edge to business that you'll want to hear about. Kellie-Ann Briand, thank you so much for being here with me today at the She's All That video podcast. It's so nice to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here and to catch up.
Yes. We've known each other for about 2 years and
2 or 3 years. I feel like it's more than 2 years, but
I think that was with the pandemic, man. That felt like a decade.
I know. Time stands still.
Yes. You had actually worked as a consultant in one of the modules in a program I did a couple of years ago, the branding aspect.
Yeah, it was
of things.
It was a branding module. So I took my branding module from my signature Accidental Entrepreneur. I pulled that out and then I delivered that to some of your one-on-one clients, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really impactful. So your business, the Accidental Entrepreneur, what are you doing with that? What's that all about?
I love this question because it's almost like when you ask a mom about her kids. So I'm like, where do I start? Here we go. How much time do you have? The Accidental Entrepreneur is really my methodology for starting and launching a business fast, right? So it's 6 simple and powerful steps. I coach it one-on-one privately, but I've also developed it into an online course. So it's an online course and live coaching program. And that really is the signature Accidental Entrepreneur experience. So I break down each step into a module. Each module has like 3 or 4 videos, 5, 6 in some instances, all the supplementary material. And then I do a live coaching component to that every week for the students in that. And it's lifetime. You're in an online portal, you get all the updates in perpetuity, all that fun stuff. So it's really my 6 simple and powerful steps to starting and launching an online business from scratch. No idea needed.
So who are the people that you can help with this? Who are these people that are starting online businesses?
Yeah, well, women. I love to say women because I feel called to work with women. I've offered the course, in the past to men, and no offense, all you lovely gentlemen out there, but I really feel called to work with women. So there's really a little from column A and column B. So column A would be that professional woman that's maybe in a corp 9-to-5 that's looking to maybe phase out and supplement that 9-to-5 income, or she's done with, the commute and the daycare and the boss, and she wants to actually start a profitable and meaningful low stress business working from home. So that's column A. And then column B, we find women who are currently at home. Maybe they're working part-time. Maybe they've started a little bit of a side hustle, which has turned into an expensive hobby because they have no clue about sales and marketing or all the parts of a business that make a business. So it's really, I always say it's moms, daughters, aunts, grandmas, wives, all of those run the gamut. So a little from column A, a little from column B.
So these people, these women that I'm assuming are kind of thinking, oh, well, geez, I want to start that online business. What's going on with them that's stopping them from doing that? What are the roadblocks?
Themselves. So there are a couple of standard, typical roadblocks, right? So the big one is the typical one. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do any of it. I don't think I have an idea. I'm super terrified of all the tech. I don't know Twitter, Facebook, all those moving parts. There's that part of it, which is all I'd say roadblock how to. But then there's the second part of it. What's preventing them is themselves, right? It's that mindset, psychological component. They've either been, spent their lives doing what other people expected them to do, doing what the norm was, being a wife, being a mom, being a partner, being a caregiver. And so they've learned to put their own dreams on hold, to live small, to not ask for more. And I really relate to that because I feel like I came from that. And so that's why I feel so aligned to just provide opportunities for women that may be struggling with self-worth, that may be struggling and saying, you know what, I want to build a legacy. I want my kids and my family to look at me and say, you know what, maybe she can't have it all, because I actually don't believe you can have it all. Some things have to go, right? But I want to inspire women and hold their hand and say, you know what, you're your own worst enemy. My mom used to say that to me all the time. Kellie-Ann, you're your own worst enemy, because I've always been ambitious. I've always been a perfectionist. I've always wanted more. And sometimes that gets you in trouble. People want to keep you small. They want to tell you you can't do it, right? They want to keep you between the rails. So I think mindset and just that internal dialogue, as women, we fall victim to that, right? So a lot of those women show up in this program saying, you know what, like, finally, just hold my hand, tell it to me like I'm a 2-year-old. I can get there, right? That virtual hug, and that's part of the live aspect of it, right? I want to meet people empathetically in their problem and say, I've been there, I've walked the walk, but I've also shown hundreds of women how to follow this roadmap and to get where they're going, that in a way that's simple, that's fun, that's predictable, period.
And the fact that you're looking at the both the technical and the process aspect of things, but also the psychological, the emotional, that is so key. The program that I was running that you were a guest consultant on, and what I was doing last year was helping women, because I have the tech and the process skills to help people figure out how to get their business online. What I was not necessarily prepared for last year, and it was on the table in spades last year, was the emotion and the psychological angst involved in doing this, particularly last year with all the fact that you bring that to the mix when it comes to your business. It's not just, I'll show you the tech and the tools.
No, and I think that's why I rebranded it. It's the Accidental Entrepreneur 2.0, because I've really looked at the methodology and stripped it back. And I start with, what do you want? What do you want out of a business? What do you want out of your life? What does success mean for you? Because as women, we often don't ask for what we want. So let's start with, what do I want? Let's determine that, because everybody's vision of success is different, right? So part of that is, yes, and I took that module and I bumped it right up to module 1, step 1, because you're absolutely right. If people jump into this program and I'm throwing some sales and marketing at them and some tech, and we're talking about, their message and their product, that's all fine and dandy, but they will epically fail, give up if they don't get this under control. Right? If they don't finally just step into their power and go, you know what? I am destined for greatness. I'm destined for more. And if it's just making an extra $1,000 a month or an extra $5,000 a month, I'm going to do it. And that's what the program is. That's what I'm here for. And that's what the program does. It's simple, right? It's not easy, but it's simple.
Now, one thing that, as particularly as a Canadian, that I would, I have this theory. And it's that because healthcare is free in Canada, Canadians are not used to paying for assistance. So if somebody, there's my little theory, take it or leave it. So
I love it.
If a lot of times I find Canadians in particular are unprepared for the kind of the mental concept of, I might need to actually help people, to pay people to help me get through this issue. So if they're thinking, oh, no, I don't want to pay money, I'll just do it myself. What's at stake if someone tries to, say, if you are having those, as you said, like you've mentioned in the past, like self-image or the stories you've been told or the box you've been put in, or you just haven't really thought out where you want to go. What risk are they running to try to do it all themselves?
Staying stuck, staying in the exact same place they are today. You can try to, I call it, I always say to people, stop trying to DIY an online business. You can DIY it. You can go down that rabbit hole of YouTube and Udemy and Pinterest, and you can cobble together a whole bunch of stuff and subscribe to all the experts and the courses and the freebies. You can do that for the next 2 years, but you will not have a profitable and meaningful business set up, period. I don't care who you are. Unless you have unlimited resources in terms of time, talent, and energy, okay, and you can sit at your computer, DIYing your business is a recipe for failure. And I always say that's the wrong way to start, right? You are going to be exactly in the same place you are today a year from now. I often think of it as, particularly if you've got the psychological component involved with the whole scenario, it's like you're stuck in the ditch.
in the mud or the snow if you're Canadian.
We're Canadians. Perfect.
Yeah,
There you go.
snow. And you're grinding, you're spinning those wheels, baby. You're not getting anywhere until somebody can hitch on to you, or you can hitch on to them, and they can pull you back on track and get you going in where you need to go.
Absolutely. It's like I say, the accidental entrepreneur is almost like a GPS. It's your GPS to show you, to get you where you need to go, the fast way, the smart way, right? And so keeping you between the rails. And you know what? I had to invest. I've been doing this a long time. I've had a corp career and the whole backstory. But I had to invest. I had to invest in a coach to get me from here, because I was stuck. And that's how we reconnected off a post I did, an organic post. And I was just telling people, I am the epic perfectionist, and perfection is my excuse for never launching, right? I could just spend 2 years perfecting a program because I never think it's good enough, because I always think someone could do it better, because that's here. And I had to, and I felt like a real, talk about imposter syndrome. I'm trying to help people with their mindset, and I was battling it. And that's why it took me a while to get 2.0 out, the accidental entrepreneur. But in the meantime, I had to hire a coach to get my shit together. Like,
in spite of 20 years of marketing, consulting, and being an exec.
I needed to invest in myself, and I needed somebody to pull me out, right? I was spinning my wheels, just like you said, stuck in the mud, stuck in the stove, spinning my wheels. I could have been here, the 2.0 could have been in 2022, the way I was going, because I just could, it wasn't lack of talent or motivation or ambition. It was my quest to be perfect. And a lot of women are like that. They never launch, or they never fully launch. And then they start something new, and then they start a second project and a third project. So I liken it to my mom, who at the age of 18, finally finished knitting me the booties that she started when I was 6 months old, right? It's like
finger puppets.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. But you do have to invest. You have to get some skin in the game, right?
Now, I've heard that before. What's that all about? Why does skin in the game make the difference?
Because you have to hold yourself account. There has to be an accountability factor. It's like, okay, I've spent $1,000 on this program. I better finish it, or what have you, right? It's like that yardstick. Okay, I've committed. I've written the epic note to the universe. It's on the wall. I've paid for the program. The charge is on my credit card. I'm going to do this. Whereas if you spend the next, try to DIY your business, you can DIY for the next 2 years. So what, right? So do invest. And like I say, you don't need to invest in 6 different programs and coaches and consultants and gurus and what have you. That's why when I was developing the program, I wanted it to be soup to nuts. You start 1, 2, 3, 4. At 6, you're launched, you're good to go. It's a lean launch. One idea, one offer, one solution that you productize, put it out into the world. That's the methodology.
I was really surprised when I saw it. You had written that, you had told me that you can achieve this in as little as 30 days, or as much time as that your client needs to take, but in as little as 30 days. Mm-hmm. How have you managed to streamline it? So, I mean, hey, we're here. We might as well start talking about how you do this with people.
Yeah, well, I really revisited the methodology last year, right? And I realized that what was causing the greatest amount of time in the program was the website component. So I've stripped that out, because the reality is you do not need a fully built out website to launch a business.
Oh my God, yes. And I see that so often. And I see it on some of the business groups and the forums. And it's like, I'm just starting. Do I need a website? And you will have dozens of people pile in who are usually website developers.
That's
yes,
a recipe.
You do.
That's a recipe for, I call that just the classic avoidance technique. I'm going to spend the next 3 months on a website, whereas I haven't validated my offer. I haven't put anything out into the world. I don't know who the heck I'm selling to. I'm not even comfortable with putting a price on it. But let me fully build out a website.
All the content for the website has to be all those decisions you've just talked about.
Exactly. And so I've stripped that out because people were getting too caught up in that. So that's gone. So that part of it. And then I implement and I show you really simple ways, right, to get your message out there with a really simple funnel system, with a series of emails.
Now, for somebody who might not understand funnels, what are you talking about when you say a funnel system?
Yeah, and that's part of the program. I break it down really simple. You'll hear people all the time, oh, I'm going to have a really fancy smanchy sales funnel. Like, what the heck is that, right? Basically, it's just a place online that you're going to drive people for your offer. And we start with a free offer and we productize that. They find your offer where? At www. In my case, it's bizbuildingblueprint.com. So that's the methodology. It's not a fully built out website. It's just a location to drive people towards your offer. And then from there, they consume your free content and you hook them. And then we build through the methodology and you launch. So that's the lean launch of the Accidental Entrepreneur. So I was able to strip it back. And the 30 days is because really, I've made it simple. Each module, like I said, is 3 to 5 short videos with actionable to-dos, not theoretical to-dos, not a whole bunch of intellectual work, because at this point, I want you to launch, right? So I don't want you to spin your wheels, because more often than not, people have been spinning their wheels, and I call it donculating that idea for, X amount of years. So they're ready to do it. They're ready to do the work. So it's 30 days, it's 60 days. Do it at your own pace, but you can do it within the month.
Now, does that take like extra focused work with you, or can they do it within the program by themselves?
They can do it. So what I offer is you have all the resources within my online classroom. All the resources are there. You can go at your own pace. But then once a month, I show up every Friday at a specific time, and you can jump in for an hour and have access to me one-on-one. Sometimes I'll have one person in that call. Sometimes I'll have 10 people. It really, really depends. You could get lucky and be that 1, 2, 3 people and really, right? And if you don't make it, I tape that and I put those recordings within the portal. So you do get access to me. And part of my methodology is I treat people like people. I want to meet you where you are, right? Yeah, but you know what? I know it sounds like, oh, of course you treat people like people. You're a real hero, Kellie-Ann. But no, I've hired coaches that as soon as they got my money, I never heard from them again. I couldn't get in touch with them. They disappeared. And I was left to my own devices, and I just inevitably gave up, right? My methodology is you can reach me. You can reach anyone in my team. You have an email. You get on that Zoom once a week, and you're part of a private Facebook group. You have the online portal. I'm not going to disappear. So that's the reassurance.
That's key. That's so key. I actually was talking with somebody recently about the impacts of having hired a coach or gotten in a program, and you emotionally invest. And as you say, you've got the skin in the game, and then you end up with somebody that, as you say, they disappear. They've got your money. It's not only disappointing and it's a financial loss and it's frankly a waste of time. It also has a psychological impact on yourself. Like, I made a mistake. That you are there. And I mean, the last thing you need when you're trying to build your business is yet another thing to, feel like, can I do this?
I see this all the time, right? People will get on the phone with me. So my thing is I typically talk to, I'd say 80% of the people who buy the course, I talk to them on the phone before they purchase, typically, right? And most of them have suffered some sort of, I call the loss, right? They've handed over money and they've been so disappointed, and it's just caused them their self-confidence to spiral. And so it's caused them to keep spinning their wheels in that snow or that mud, right? Or it's caused them to really just defer their dreams, or to say, you know what, maybe next year, wait for the perfect time, because they've tried it. So it's like, hire a coach and get your skills and the confidence and the support you need. And then they hire a coach and they're in the same freaking place that they were. So obviously they're resistant to investing again, right? So I like to speak to that and just hit people with that head on. Like, I'm not that person. Once you get to know me and you're on my channels or you speak with me, I'm not that person, because I've been disappointed. And I don't want people to come away, right? I don't want people to be disappointed. I am going to help you. And I offer a guarantee. If you don't make your first X amount of money within the first 6 months, okay, and you show me that you've done the work, I will refund you, and I will offer you 3 one-on-one calls with me to get you there. So really, it's low risk. It's low risk. I've never had anyone have to take me up on it, but I offer it. So
I like that.
If you do the work and this system doesn't work for you, and you don't make your $1,000 back, because right now the program's on sale for $1,000, you don't make it back, I'm going to sit on that phone with you for 3 one-on-one calls.
Which for some coaches, that's about equal to $1,000.
Yeah. And that's, of course, that's money. That's money I could be right earning someplace else. But that's how committed I am to this, right? I want to meet people empathetically in their problem, hold your hand, support you. I'm not going to disappear.
So help women, in your case, help women
Yes. I
make
want
this
women,
difference in their lives.
yes, and just empower them because, this came out of a really challenging time in my own life personally, right? I'd gone through a crazy divorce and custody issues. And because I had skills that I could monetize, I was able to keep my kids in the lifestyle they were used to and keep them within their home and within their environment, right? So I want to make sure that all women recognize their own abilities, their own talents. So I say that the accidental entrepreneurs, we're going to take what you do, what you love, what you're passionate about, and we're going to turn that into, we're going to monetize that, productize it, and turn it into a business so that, you can sit at home and fly your flag and go, you know what, look, I am destined for more, period.
And we know in the last year, I mean, you and I have been both, doing the virtual stuff for years. That's how you worked with me and within my program. But in the last year, the whole thing of working from home has become so much more of a conceivable thing.
It's a tangible concept right now, right?
Yes.
Because people have been working from home in the corner of their dining room, and now they're loving it. They're loving it. And they're thinking, you know what? Like either they've lost their jobs and they no longer have a corporate job to go back to, or a job and they need to make up that income. Now's the time. Or they've loved working from home and they don't want to go back right to their 9 to 5, even though their job is still there, right? Mm-hmm. So that working from home and creating that simple, fun, predictable income stream, this is the time. This is the time. Like there's no better time. It's not something other people do. You can do it. And that's what I'm trying to educate and to, tell women. It's not something other people do.
I would say that just another reason why it's a really good idea to be working either with a coach or in a coach's community for this is because possibly this is a new venture, a new concept for you. And if no one around you is doing it and no one else can relate to what you're doing, it's like, so you sit at your computer all day long. What is that? You need to actually be in community and in connection with somebody, your coach and fellow online entrepreneurs.
Sisterhood.
Yeah. It's like you're speaking the same language. You get what each other's doing, even if it's a different focus in your business. Yeah. But that support is invaluable for this, especially for the startup. So
for sure. Find people who can fan your flame. Find people that understand the path you're on. Right? Walk in the footsteps of other people who've been on that journey, because our partners and our friends and our moms and our aunts, they can like us on Facebook, but they don't necessarily know what the heck our dreams are, right? Exactly. And our challenges and our desires. So yeah.
So if somebody was listening to this and thinking the accidental entrepreneur, now is that somebody who's just strictly like a conceptual thing like coaching and consulting, or is it also, does it apply to product-based stuff? If somebody wants to start up a product-based business?
Yeah, it can be product or service-based. It could be someone with a seedling of an idea, someone with absolutely zero idea. It could be somebody who started a business and may have the bones and a simple framework, but isn't making money, right? You can come to me with 10 ideas. Part of the methodology is we're going to find you an idea that works. Either if you have none or you have 10, right? I'm going to take you through that. Part of one of my steps is step 2 is we're going to nail down your product or service idea. Sorry, what was step 1 was your mindset? Step 1 is setting up your business. And part of that is setting up your mind for business and setting up all the moving parts of your business. And I put that right up at the top. We're going to get you all straightened away with all that stuff that's typically not that glamorous, right? How to register your business. We talk about taxes. We talk about invoicing, all that fun stuff. And then we transition. We get all that, straightened away. There's a lot to unpack there. We get that all done. And then we move on to finding you an idea. So you can come to me. I've had people who've started, product businesses selling selling or organic or vegan products. People who've monetized, a blog because they did a lot of vegan catering, etc. It runs the gamut. It really runs the gamut. So the methodology works because we're talking about what? We're talking about finding an idea you can productize, finding people who want what you're doling out, finding paying clients, creating offers that people that are irresistible to people, that people will line up to pay for, and how to validate that. So that's all part. I think I just covered step 2, 3, and 4. So whether you want to make bath bombs or cotton baby clothing, or you want to be a coach, a consultant, a course creator, what have you, this methodology will work for you.
Now, when you're doing that process with people where you're actually helping them figure out what is it that I want my business to be about, it's, for some people, it might be a little bit unintuitive. That is like, what? How can you want to have a business but you don't know what it's about? What does that look like for somebody that comes to you and they're like, I kind of know, but I don't know. What do you do with them to help them dig down?
That's most people, by the way. That's most people. I take them through just my approach to how to find that, land on that big idea. Something that they love to do, that they've been paid to do in the past, that people actually want, because that's a big one. You can love to do something and been paid to do it and be passionate about it, but if there's no need in the market, and I use my example of toilet training cats. I had someone come to me and say, I want to start a business and I want to teach people how to toilet train cats. Okay. She was passionate about it and she'd done it and she'd been paid to do it by her mom and her cousin and her neighbor, but there wasn't a need in the market. Right. So people will come, and most often they have too many ideas. Right. And we'll have to just follow sort of I have a yes or BS validation system, and I take you through a whole way to validate your idea. And at the end of it, there's kind of a scorecard. It's like, yes, this thing's going to fly, or no, this is complete BS. Let's move on. So I tell people, don't be scared. If you want to start a business and you have no freaking clue, we're going to help you. If you've got too many ideas, we're going to help you. So it's column A and column B, a bit of both.
And like you say, streamline, pare it down to that simple one concept.
Yeah. That's where I see so many people. They launch a program and then that doesn't sell. And then they're launching another one. And then they have this don't keep creating. Or right?
Try to launch multiple things at the same time.
Oh, you just confuse the market, let alone and yourself, right?
And it's so much work. Oh my God. Yeah. Get that proof of concept with that first business. Yeah.
And then build on it.
Build on it later, but get launched.
And that's why this is the lean launch. It's a lean launch framework. It's not perfect. And that's something I had to get my head around. I'm teaching people how to launch imperfectly, how to step up and say, you know what? I'm an expert in this. I'm going to launch it. I'm going to put it out there into the world. It's not perfect, but then you know what? I can tweak as I go. And that's part of just getting things out into the world and validating, is it going to be an epic stinker or not? Right.
Yeah. I think that whole thing of the perfection, especially for women, is a big thing because like whether it's recognized or not, and in academic research and psychological research, they know it's a thing. Women are kind of tone policed and
yes.
Their entire life, every time they open their mouth, they have to think about, like, how is this going to land? How are people going to feel about it? Like,
exactly.
And a guy's going to come in quite often. Unless you're a very unusual person that grew up in a closet, you probably had the experience that, every time you open your mouth, you've got a guy there correcting you on a point or what you said or how he knows more or something. Yeah. So it tends to make us feel a little bit hesitant to actually get out there and put our voice out there. So this whole thing of perfection is, if I'm going to say something, if I'm going to put myself out there, if I'm going to announce my business or say what it is I do for people, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, because I think more often than not, people aren't afraid of failure. They're afraid of criticism. Right? Wow. So you have to embrace the possibility that you may fail, and you have to allow yourself some grace. Okay, as a woman. But what we do is we don't ask for more. We don't try for more because we're afraid of criticism. And I have so many women go, oh, I don't want to say that, Kellie-Ann, because my in-laws are on my Facebook page. And, oh, I'm not sure. I don't want to put myself out on a Facebook Live because my ex-husband might. And I answer, okay, so what? So what? you have to get past that, right? That fear of criticism. Okay. And I love that you said that, because it's so true. We do spend our lives at women trying to tone it down, or, like you said, how's this going to land? Like, what's the reaction going to be? Are they going to think, and I've had this my whole life. Oh, Kellie-Ann, you're assertive, but I know some men below their breath, they're going aggressive, right?
Bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's so true. So and that's part of it. It's like, you know what? Like, come on, people, let's just step up and do this thing. And I'm here to help you. So it doesn't have to be complicated.
How much of your program, do you ever have to kind of do like a sidebar thing with people and help them around this area? Is this like an overall thing, or do some people need some special Kellie-Ann time to work on this?
Well, a lot of people, like I said, I do a lot of private coaching as well, right? So when I get people on a call, if I know that this program is going to work for them and they're going to get past all of these mindset, psychological issues, I'll be, okay, this is the program for you. You're going to be fine with that 1 hour of live coaching. Some people need a little extra hand-holding with that step one. Right? Just getting past that fear of criticism and figuring out what exactly success means for them. Because don't forget, I've fallen victim to this. What's success? Were my choices ever my own? I just kept following a path because it was laid out for me, right? People expected it of me. So some people do require a little extra work, but again, I'm always available. And if they do need to, if I see that somebody is really struggling when they get on that live group coaching on the Fridays, or they'll send me an email, sometimes I might have to say, okay, let's do a 20-minute check-in here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it has to be recognized. It can be a very emotional, vulnerable kind of thing. Any new undertaking, especially one that you're almost like recasting how you see yourself. Well, that can be huge.
Yeah, it's funny because in one of the modules I say, I have a video just dedicated to who are you going to show up as online? Because as women, we have so many roles, so many faces, so many descriptions, so many titles. Who are you going to show up as? Russell Brunson calls it your attractive character. Who is your attractive character? How are you going to attract people to you? You have to be consistent, but you also have to be real, right?
I was going to say, the authenticity should play a part in that.
Yeah. And that's why I'm real with my own, BS. I'm real with it. Like I know what I struggle with personally. I know how this program, what it came out of. It came out of a really challenging time for me, where I sat in my living room and I whiteboarded out a methodology, and it saved me, right? It saved me. So, not that we all need to be saved, but it did at that particular time and moment. It was like a finite line in the sand was drawn. Okay, I can monetize something I'm good at and I like to do. Like people, I can solve a very specific problem and people are going to pay me for it. How can I turn this into a business? And then fast forward, I don't even know how many years it's been online, fast forward. And I have a consulting business. I have the online entrepreneur. I have a specialized, I'm an owner in a specialized clinic in Montreal. Like I am an entrepreneur at the heart of it. Right. So when people show up, I get it. I circle back to, I'm trying to meet people where they are, because everybody's different and everybody has a unique backstory and a unique set of what they perceive, a unique set of problems, right? But typically it all boils down to, oh my God, I'm so scared that people are going to tell me I can't do it. I don't deserve it. I'm going to fail.
Yeah. I think if you've got somebody like yourself, your coach, who's got the experience and the background and is coming into this knowing she wants to support you on, this whole psychological journey of this. One of the things that I've always found really useful is something that my mother used to say to me, which if I was ever like, oh my God, can I do this? Can I do this? My mother would say, listen, think of all the assholes in the world that have already done this. If they can do that, you can do this.
Yeah.
So you've helped hundreds of people doing this, and clearly millions of people are out there running online businesses right now. Yeah. So all you need are the tools, the perspective, the mindset, and a program like you've put together.
Yeah. It's the system, the skills, and the support. That's what you need when you're looking to start. Stop trying to DIY it. Yeah.
So if anybody actually hears that and thinks, right, that's me, I'm going for this, where can they find you in the Accidental Entrepreneur 2.0?
They can find me at www.accidentalentrepreneurship.club. So I say join the club. So it's accidentalentrepreneur.club. You can also find me at bizbuildingblueprint.com if you want to just download my free 6 simple and powerful steps to starting an online business. But it's all at the accidentalentrepreneur.club.
Okay, so connect with you. Now, in closing, for somebody who's listening to this thinking, maybe this is me, I can do this. What last words would you want to leave with somebody?
I would say starting an online business is not something other people do. And that's what you need to get your head around. It's something you can do. It's something I've done. It's something, I've taught my X amount of people. It's something my neighbor does. And now is the time. Stop deferring. Stop deferring your dreams. Get the help, right? So get the help. Raise your hand, right? And ask for help. That's it. That's what I'm going to tell people. Stop trying to cobble it together, because you will inevitably stay stuck or give up. So ask for the help and recognize that now is the time. There's never been a better time. Literally, I know people say that, but there has never been a better time. People have learned to work from home. People have accepted people on the other end of the screen and not questioned, what? Wait, you only work online? Now is the time. Either pivot your existing business, or, if you don't want to go back to your 9 to 5, or God forbid your 9 to 5 was phased out because of this wonderful COVID, pandemic. Now is the time. Raise your hand, ask for help. My brand, The Accidental Entrepreneur, it's accessible. That's it. It's accessible. It's affordable. And, it's not a huge investment in terms of dollars.
No.
Okay. You can make it up with an average transaction. If your average transaction size and typically is $500, you sell 2 products, you've already made up the price of the program, which is on sale right now, right? So raise your hand, ask for the help. I'm here. I'm giving it to you. It's available to you, right? Don't stay stuck.
That's amazing. Kellie-Ann, thanks so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much. It was great reconnecting.
Did you know that podcast guesting, being the featured guest interviewed on podcasts, is one of the hottest 2021 ways to build brand, audience, and your business? To get your unique message and personality out there to those who need to hear it. As a podcaster myself and a business consultant, I help turn entrepreneurs into business people who can proficiently and profitably use podcast guesting as a powerful part of their marketing plan. Want to know more? You can download the 5-step guide below in the notes, or if you really want to get moving on it, book a call and let's map out how we could make it part of your marketing plan.